First off, for the longest time, the idea that comes from the auteur theory when it comes to filmmaking that a director's filmography was them working on making something out of obsessions they have. Well, for the longest time, that idea gave me the ick, gave me the yikes, gave me the ugh, or at best gave me the ugh. But now that I've started this podcast quite recently, I gotta think about things I want to talk about. And some of those things keep coming back. So it hit me. Uh-oh, I'm a filmmaker with obsessions too. I just happened to have enough of them so that I was not seeing I had obsessions. But I do. And one of them might be an idea that's tackled in Christopher Nolan's movie Inception. And it's pretty much that nothing is more powerful than an idea we believe in. And we will reshape our world, even our own bodies, in the name of it, without even noticing it. It's quite a big subject for a 15 to 21 minute per episode podcast. Yeah, what to say about that? Well, it's true. In my experience, Carl Jung talked about that, the shadow. I've lived through that too. My first feature film, It Walks Among Us, is very much about that. And I see all around me that we easily neglect our own power and the power of our minds. Someone said, I think it was like Henry Ford or something like that, if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. I think he's right. So, I could find examples of that or other big names that were for that theory of the power of the human mind. But this is not what this podcast is about. This is not my area of expertise, should I say. My thing is telling stories. And the fact that we have to realize that no story is pure entertainment. It will always convey an idea, whether it wants to or not. And that idea might very well be different for every person who receives the story. And this is by creating our collective mind that we shape the world. And our collective mind is very much shapen by what we consume. I say the word consume because I don't think a story should be consumed. But nowadays, you take your phone, you scroll down, 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 down. You consume ideas that are built, engineered to make you stay on the app on which you're consuming them. And everybody plays that game because you need to play that game if you're an entrepreneur, put food on the table and have a roof over your head. And of course, if you dig just a little bit into that and how it works, you'll see that you need to agitate the lowest parts of human heart, of the human heart and of the human psyche. to have people click on your video, on your short, and have people stay on it. And actually, I've interested myself a little bit in how the brain works, and enough to see that many of the words I read on social media, the words I hear when I scroll down or stumble upon videos, really aim at finding a way in our lower instincts, our fears, our unconscious willingness to put things, people, in convenient boxes, to make a caricature out of reality, to make it palatable, or to make us feel less insignificant, less alone on that space rock that will be devoured by its source of energy, aka sun, in a few billion years. So, what is it all for, anyways? And I see all that, and I see that it was time for me to join the battle, what I call the battle of ideas, because having studied to be an idea sculptor, a master manipulator in a way, aka a filmmaker, a storyteller. Because if you tell a good story well, if you make a movie well, you will shape reality for others. And, well, having done that, it was time for me to be responsible and join the fight, in the sense that there's so many things I do not agree with. As in, I feel they are deeply hurtful for people. I'm not talking about people living differently than me, but there are things in this world that I see, that I hear, that all my past experiences and all I've taken from them and understood from them tells me about these lowest common denominator crap lies, that they are engineering they are generating more pain and suffering than anything else down the road. And I don't know exactly how it happened, but after passion, dedication, pain, loneliness, suffering, hard work, deep desire, pure stubbornness, stupidity sometimes, selfishness, others, I've been molding myself into someone who seems to sometimes have the means to reach deep into the human heart. And that is a terrifying thing to be able to do. Because, as we all know, us who watch movies sometimes, a great power, well, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is great power. We all have the power of shaping the world for others, and we all do, whether we realize it or not. And I think most parents do it without realizing it. That's why parents are the most talked about subject in therapy sessions, very probably. But us, storytellers, filmmakers, teachers, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, we change worlds, not only ours, way more often than we think, and way deeper than we think. And I'm obsessed by that. I realize that now. I realize that I named my production company Vajrar because it says just that. It's a reminder to myself to to always have that in mind. Named it Vajrar, by the way, because it's based on a Hindu legend of the Vajra, where basically the god Indra was the wielder of the Vajra, who was the most powerful weapon of all creation. And he was on earth, beating up demons, sending them back to where they belong. And when Indra's done, he wants to go back on other adventures, but his weapon, the Vajra, is a problem. It's something to carry that he doesn't want to carry. So he's thinking what to do with this now that there's no demons anymore. And oh yeah, let's find the wisest person on Earth and ask them to look for my Vajra until I need it again and come back to take it. So Indra finds an old wise man who was spending most of his days meditating in the mountains and asks the old wise man to keep an eye on the Vajra. Old wise man is like, okay, well, that's a god, so yes, sure, Mr. God, I will keep an eye on your weapon, which is the most powerful weapon of all creation, therefore highly, extremely precious and cannot fall into the wrong hands. Sure. So Indra goes back on his adventures, goes on his merry way, and then the old wise man is, how can I meditate 16 hours per day now? Because I cannot watch over this when I meditate. And then he's got an idea. He can use his yogic powers to dissolve the Vajra into water and then drink it. That way, he carries the weapon inside himself. It's in his body now. It's in his system. So he does just that, as you do. Drinks the Vajra that now was turned into water. Gets back to meditation. Does that for, I don't know, a couple 100 years, I think. Yeah, he's very old, very wise. And then the demons are back on Earth. So Indra is back because he's a protector. He needs to protect us from that. So he finds the old wise man and asks, okay, dude, where's my weapon? Old guy's like, well, I drank it. You drank my weapon. I drank your weapon. Okay, but what do I do now? I don't know. Well, I don't know either. And then the old wise man is like, okay, well, the only thing you can do is kill me and use my bones to make a new weapon. Because your old weapon became my body, my bones. First, Indra's reluctant, but then he realizes that there's nothing else he could do. So he does just that. The old wise man is at peace with his sacrifice. And Indra takes a spine and creates a new weapon out of that, a new Vajra. And that weapon now is not only the most powerful weapon of all creation, it is the most powerful weapon of all creation that can only fight for good and justice, because it has within itself the wisdom of the old man now. And I named my company that way not because I think that I have the wisdom and I know for a fact what is good and what is not, but a story that defends good, true ideas or aspects of the human experience is a weapon, and I want to remember that because it haunts me, and because I believe that this world needs every single one of us at their most authentic, sincere, involved. And that idea obsesses me so much that maybe this is me at my most authentic, sincere, involved. Yeah, that's it for today, I think. I'll be back soon. I got plenty of notes. This comes with the territory of being a writer, director, and see you then.